So this is the part here we're going to make the dough for the pizza. As I explained that I can't find pizza very good here that I like for my taste, but because I'm picky. But I had worked in a pizza shop before when I was like 16 for a few years, so I know how to make pizza pretty much. So I did find another recipe online for the dough. So this is the dough recipe I have. It's about 1.5 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then in this bowl here, we have about 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of yeast. So the warm water and the yeast has been activated here. So we're just gonna mix these two together and create the dough. And you can see here that it looks like it's kind of wet. So I may need to add some more flour. So I converted this measurement from grams for a larger amount too. So I had to reduce it and convert it from grams to cup because we don't have a scale here. So be right back. So we're just using all-purpose flour. So you just mix the flour in until you get the right consistency for the dough. Once it gets so close and not too crazy sticky, you can start with your hands. So it's very wet dough still. So dough mixer is a lot cleaner on your hands than doing it this way, but I no longer have a dough mixer. But this way you do get the feel of how the dough is, the texture and moisture of it. Okay, so now we have our texture pretty good with the dough. It's soft but not sticky. So a little sticky though. There we go. So you're looking for it to where it's like soft but not sticky all over your hands. So you just create a ball, press it in there, and then we're going to cover that with plastic wrap and leave that sit for about 2 hours to rise. So when it rises, it will actually fill this whole bowl here, and then it will be ready. That will make about 2 pizzas, cut it in half, and then reform balls again. Okay, so now we're going to make the sauce. So I always make my own sauce from scratch, kind of. I do use canned tomatoes, but here the tomato sauces come in the little packages like this. So this was, I think, about 19 or 15 or 19 pesos. So it's pretty cheap for the tomato sauce. So this is usually about enough to make maybe 1 or 2 pizzas, depending on how thick you put the sauce on. So they do tear open, but it's easier just to cut it. So this one is Spanish style. I don't know what the difference is with that, but it's the Filipino style is like sweeter. So this is more closer to Italian style. So we'll just put the tomato sauce in. And then I like to use fresh garlic, so I will press 4 cloves of garlic in, because we do like garlic here. So the next thing I put in is some basil. So I just put a little bit in. I just eyeball it. Always done it just by feel or look. A little bit of black pepper, not as much as the basil. The oregano, usually a little bit more than what the basil is. So if you're thinking like a teaspoon of basil or half teaspoon of basil, 3/4 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then parsley flakes, about 1 teaspoon or more of parsley flakes. So that will create the sauce. Okay, so our dough is ready. You can see here it's risen. I wish it would have rose a little bit better, but it should be good enough. And then we have our sauce is ready, and that's enough for 2 pizzas here. And the dough also as well. The toppings we're going to be putting on, we're going to be making 1 pizza with black olives and the rest of the toppings, and the other one we're going to make with pineapples. So the pineapple pieces here typically come in the little pouch, and both of them are going to have the mushrooms. They're also in the pouch. And then we're also going to put jalapeno peppers and then anchovies. So anchovies are not common here, so I had to order those. The cheese we're using, I had to experiment with different cheeses and find different cheeses that come out right for the flavor and the meltiness and all. And the best one so far I found is this cheese here made, it's out of Denmark. So it's a block of mozzarella. 1 block is enough to make 2 pizzas, nice and cheesy. So you just use the grater to grate that. So this was about 295 or 297 pesos for the block cheese. The jar of this was the jalapenos was about 137 or 140 pesos, same as the black olives. And the anchovies was 190 pesos. So in here is enough for, probably should be enough for 2 pizzas. I'll make it work out for 2 pizzas. Mushrooms were pretty cheap. They're about 20 pesos for a pouch, and a little bit cheaper for the pineapple pieces. Right, so first I have to get this dough out. So I'll flour the table a bit. And then carefully get this dough out and then separate it into 2 pieces. I said, it's not risen as good as I was expecting. So it's going to go ahead and separate that. Make 2 pizzas here. Okay, this is going to be awful thin. For some reason, this crust did not come out very good for today. So I tried this recipe once already, and it did come out all right. Okay, so it's going to be a thin crust, but it's okay. Now for the cheese. Another way could be this just sliced and put on there in slices, but it doesn't evenly cover the whole surface, so I like it shredded. So I'll just make like a nice pile here and then spread it around evenly. And then you're always going to have some pieces left over, so just spread them out. As I said, this cheese does have some nice melting qualities, and it does taste pretty good. The hardest problem I had was finding the cheese that I like the taste of. Okay, so there is that. So now we'll add the mushrooms in. And then the common pizza ingredient in the Philippines is the pineapple. So it's popular pizza flavor here is pineapple and ham, the Hawaiian style. Almost all the pizzas you get are going to have, or at least the most common is the pineapple. Then we're going to put some jalapeno peppers on them. Okay. And then the one ingredient that most people don't like is anchovies, but it's already been tasted and they do like it here. Let me get the oil off. Because one of my favorite toppings is anchovies on pizza. You just put them on there evenly around, about like that. So this is enough here to make another pizza. The next one is going to have the same ingredients except black olives instead of the pineapple. So we just use like that. It's at 230 Celsius, so I just max out the oven. And that's how I usually make the pizzas. Okay, so this is the first one's done. This one with the pineapple. So it's finished. So I'm going to transfer it to this other serving plate here. So I can use, we only have the one pan. So I can use the other pan to make the other pizza. So that one's ready. So we'll cut that in a moment. And then people can start eating that one. And then we will, in the meantime, I will make the other pizza. Okay. So this one is ready to be cut and served. It's already on a serving tray here for now because we needed the pan. So I'm going to cut this up with my pizza cutter. There we go.